we have placed our copy in here, and now we're going to place the images that might affect some sizing of this text. So before we go into images, the first thing we should do is put the logo here on the back panel, because I want to talk to you about their brand. I linked this in the files with all the copy and images. So I want you to look at this real closely. That means that if you're going to use blue and orange, you want to use these exact formulas. So you can use black and white, and you can use images, but if you're going to use flat color, you really need to stick to their color profile. We're not going to use the Orange Coast logo. You could put it on the cover if you want. I'm not putting it on the cover because I say the words Orange Coast College, and it feels like that's enough, and I just want one logo on the back. So I would try to talk this client into that. So with the planetarium logos, you really just have two choices, and this is a pretty clunky logo because the Orange Coast College type is so small, and this is such an awkward kind of piece. And you'll notice here that on the left is the illustration of the planetarium, and on the right is the type. Well, I actually found a logo that is stacked and much more useful for us, and this is recent. So I downloaded that and I put it into the mix with all the images and the logo. Okay, so that's going to work much better on the back of this brochure. So I'm going to go to place, and I'm going to put it on the back so I know what I'm working with. And we're going to keep it in the margins, but it doesn't have to go exactly the size of the margins. That might make it too big. Now I have the word planetarium there, and I don't need that now, so that can be fixed. And then I can bring this copy all the way down to the bottom margin, and then the logo can sit right there. Now if I'm going to choose any colors for this brochure, I need to use the blue and the orange. So let's add those to the swatches panel. I'm going to go to Window, Color, Swatches. If it isn't already open, I'm going to just dock this here, and I'm going to add a new color. And this one is going to be 178,044. And this is the blue that is their official blue color. So I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to make another that is their orange. And that one is 051870. And you can get these colors off of that branding information that I gave you. I might want to go with blue on this copy, just because you see how the word planetarium is blue? And it's such a dark blue that it's almost black. So if I wanted to, I could make that blue and go from there. I have two images I want to place here. One is on the left side behind this text. And you could put an image, or honestly, you could put color. It's up to you. I could put this right on the fold line, and I could make that one of our colors. Send it to the back, and then make all this type white. So you could do that, or you could put an image behind it. Just remember that if you are using colors, use their colors. You could also put blue on the cover if you wanted, and then planetarium could be white. But what I think I want to do is put space images. I've given you links to two stock photo places. One is Pexels, and I'm just going to search for space photography maybe. Now what I want to look for is not a photo that's horizontal like this one, because it might not be enough pixels per inch once I blow it up tall. This one, and this one, and this one are all vertical images, and you can see it's a free download, so I can download that. I'm not going to donate because I'm only using it for school. Save that. Now when I go back here, I can make an image box that fits perfectly. I want it to go beyond the bleed, to the fold, all the way around, and let's see what this space photo looks like, and is it enough pixels? And it looks like it is, and you can see that it's really huge in there. So let's go to our fitting, and we want to fill that frame. So we don't want any gaps or cropping. We want it to fill. Perfect. Now let's see if that gives us enough. Yeah, do you see that the PPI on that is 676? So I'm going to put that in the back. And of course the type then would have to be changed. I would make this white. Now the important thing is choose an image that has enough contrast with the type. If this had a bunch of white stars in it, that would be problematic. Maybe it goes something like that. Now on this far left panel, I have the type white there already. If I were to use this same image, and I wouldn't, I would use a different one. But if I did use this one, yeah, see, that works really well. There's a little bit of white here in the middle, but not too bad. So when you're looking at these stock images, make sure you choose something that's really dark. Like in this case, the moon. You don't want that moon going behind white type. It will make it hard to read. This is another one that would be hard to read. Also, we want to use images that are from deep space. So we don't want to see, like, this one has some buildings, this one has rocks and stuff. That's really not what they're about. They're about exploring deep space. So any of, like the one that I used is good. If you go down here, this one to the right is good. Even this one's got an andromedia. Just avoid, like this one would be tough because look at all that white in the center. So what color do you make the type? If it's black, it'll read really well on the white but not on the black. So just be mindful of that. Now let's go place our images on the inside. Now on this inside, my images have a little more work to do because I have the theater, the pendulum, and the sphere. And ideally, I would like to show photos of those. So I've given you photos to choose from. So if you go to the files under OCP Images, you can actually, if you click on one of these, then you'll be able to kind of thumb through them. I would actually download them all because you never know which ones you're going to use. There's the dome. That's just a miscellaneous inside of the theater. This one shows the science on a sphere pretty well, but it also shows kind of generally inside. That's a good one of the science on the sphere. There's the science on the sphere, and you can see the pendulum in the front. So it is possible to show both of those in one photo, but you can't see it very well. And you might have some luck digging up photos of this pendulum and sphere. I've gotten these all. That's another one of the theater. You have all these to choose from. These are the ones that I've chosen to put in. So I have my dome theater up here in the upper left. I have the pendulum here in the center, and I have science on the sphere in the lower right. And then I also put a picture of the outside here and the inside of the planetarium here on the lower left. And the reason I have those three images stacked like that is because this part with the type will lay next to it. So I didn't want any type on this page because they'll be next to each other. So I went all images there. Now I just have to make sure that all of these images are at least 200 ppi. And they are. Lowest one is this one on page 2, the center of the outside. So that I basically can't make that any bigger within that shape. And you can see that I've made the image boxes all line up here and go right to each other. So when you look at the whole layout, it goes like that. And I haven't modified the type and figured this all out. That's all just kind of fine tuning. So I might want to bring the dome theater type down. Maybe this can have more leading in it in these bullets now that I have space. And then when I get to up here, I see I have a little widow type right there at the bottom I could probably get rid of. And I can also see that my subheads have too much space below them. I'm not going to have room for that. So when I look at my space, it looks like I have 0.125 below. Yeah, I think it's going to be more like 0.06. So I'm going to go to my paragraph styles, and that's my subheads, and I'm going to redefine that. You see how they all tighten up? And then this type here, if I take all of this and just take the tracking down, probably even just 1, maybe 2. There we go. So that picks me up a lot of space, so then I'll nudge that up there. I might change my type to the blue. That's up to you. You can make it blue or you can make it black, but if you're going to make it blue, it has to be their blue. And I could even change the subheads. Maybe the subheads are orange. So I'll try and let me see if that works. A little too light. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to make the type heavier. So I'm going to go to extra bold and see if that does it. And that does actually work. So I'm going to go and redefine my paragraph style for the subheads. I'm just going to click this button down here to clear the difference between what that type is and what it should be on the paragraph style. So now you can see that my bullet points aren't quite the right orange. So I need to go to my character styles and open this one that says bullets. Remember, any changes you make to the bullets, this is where you do it. So I'm going to open up bullets. I'm going to go to character color, and I'm going to find the correct orange. I could do blue, but I have a feeling orange would look better. So there you go. I can also add some more leading in my bullets. They look like they could use it. Open that up, and I'm going to go to... And do you see how you can watch it happening? Like, I've got space, so why not? So that's the kind of noodling you're going to do. You basically want to keep everything within your margins. So I could take this dome theater down to here. Everything in the margins, top to bottom, right to left. I'm going to make that bigger, or I could switch it for another photo that has more height. So I don't know if this one looks like it has more height. So I could switch these, put the pendulum there, put this one here, because it has more height. That's the kind of noodling that you'll do to get this all right. Once you have this all finished, you can definitely take your labels off for the inside spread, cover. That's just for you. It's going to help you put things where they're supposed to go. I want you to get everything perfectly lined up, and then you're going to take screenshots, and that's what you're going to hand in. And the reason is I want to see all the margins, and I want to give you comments on spacing, your images, things like that. You go on a Mac, it's Shift Command and then 4. And make sure that you're not in preview mode. I want to see all of these margin lines. Once you send those in, I'll be able to give you some feedback. You'll take a break next week and work on something else while I go through these with a fine-tooth comb.